You and your children should never be drinking energy drinks, and here's why. Have you seen the post floating around, the news story that's floating around about the kids who are dying because they're using energy drinks? And Panera was even in a lawsuit. Starbucks removed a super high caffeinated drink from their menu. Not another one, but one of their super high caffeinated drinks. And there's been issues with some of these other energy drinks. And the caffeine can be a problem, yes, especially for people who are caffeine sensitive, which you would know based on some symptoms, but also if you had genetic testing done. People who are sensitive to caffeine are going to be the people who get jittery after drinking caffeine, or the people who also experience caffeine withdrawal if they don't have caffeine by about the same time every day. They're going to be your caffeine sensitive people. They're also going to be your people that might get a headache with drinking caffeine. Those are caffeine sensitive people because it's adjusting their blood pressure. But there's another factor in these energy drinks, right? There is a lot of them have artificial sweeteners in them that have been linked to heart disorders, cancers, issues in the GI tract. On top of that, there's a cocktail of vitamins in most of them that could be toxic to the person ingesting them, and you wouldn't know it until it's too late. And because they're considered a beverage, whatever vitamins and supplements they put in that drink, because it's not considered a supplement, they don't have to follow any FDA guidelines. Let that sink in. Supplements have to follow a guideline for not causing harm because they're registered as a supplement. Energy drinks are labeled as a beverage. So whatever vitamin cocktail they put in them, not regulated at all. And not that the vitamin and supplement industry is very well regulated, but not very well regulated and not regulated at all are two very different things. But let's be super honest. There should be no reason, none, that your 16-year-old even needed a cup of coffee. Because if your energy isn't coming from within your own body, you have a health problem. If your energy is so depleted that you can't make it through a day without coffee for energy, caffeine for energy, you have a mitochondrial health problem, which eventually leads to a host of other health problems. And because I know some people are going to say I'm making this up, this is the Cleveland Clinic's website. Mitochondrial disease are a group of genetic conditions that affect how mitochondria in your cells produce energy. Mitochondria produce most of the energy your body needs. If you have a mitochondrial disease, your cells aren't able to produce enough energy. There isn't a cure, but treatment can prevent life-threatening complications. The Cleveland Clinic recognizes that mitochondrial dysfunction is a real thing. They do say that this is a genetic condition, and for some people it is a genetic condition, but for some people it's epigenetic, meaning you get to control how your mitochondria function. The study published in the National Institutes of Health in 2020 titled, "Is Mitochondrial Dysfunction a Common Root Cause of Non-Communicable Chronic Disease?" by Alexis Diaz-Vegas et al. Goes into all of the conditions that mitochondrial dysfunction can cause, and they include cardiovascular disease, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and cancer. And she gives the root causes of mitochondrial dysfunction that's non-genetic as being a sedentary lifestyle, poor nutrition, lack of nutrition or calorie restriction, over-exercising, particularly with calorie restriction, And then she does talk about genetic regulation and environmental toxins. That was the title of the article. If you want to go find it, go find it. I'm not linking it here for you. But the honest truth is, if you feel like caffeine pills, energy drinks are the only way that you can make it through your day, you need to start reaching out to someone for help. Because in that article, she can link heart disease, diabetes, cancer to mitochondrial dysfunction. And that's not the road you want to go down. That is not thriving in your health. It's not thriving in your life. And you were born to thrive. In the article titled Autoimmunity, Origins May Lie in Defective Mitochondria, published in 2021 in Environmental Factor, which you can also find on the National Institutes of Health website, they go in to talk about how the mitochondria, when they're not doing what they're supposed to, release bad DNA and bad RNA, which then cause the body to mount an immune response that continues beyond when it should, and that causes different types of autoimmune disease. One of the diseases that they could link specifically to mitochondrial dysfunction was Sjogren's. Again, title of the article is there. If you want to go look it up and read the article, please do. But autoimmune disease is not a natural process. Your body was not designed in its perfectness to attack itself. It was not designed to not recognize you as you, because you were created perfectly. To go back to the energy drink thing, the kid's dad, who happened to be a firefighter, said that the energy drink he drank in particular only had 160 milligrams of caffeine. The Mayo Clinic says it's safe for adolescents to have up to 400 milligrams of caffeine. The average cup of coffee has somewhere between 80 and 95 milligrams of caffeine. And my guess is that most adults are drinking at least 4 cups of coffee, if not more. So one energy drink, if it were just related to caffeine, would not have been enough to stop this child's heart. This 16-year-old boy was unresponsive, and they performed CPR and shocked him for an hour. An hour. Stop using caffeine. Stop using energy drinks. If you are completely reliant on that for energy and you cannot get yourself awake and moving without it, seek help. If you want someone who can help you through this process, there's a link.